You know you are screwed when there is a priest and motorcycles on your assault assembly point.
Распятых Божественной преподнести пилать и страдавших погребенных воскресших до день пописаний. И вошедшего на небеса и сидящего десной Отца и погребущего, то славу судите живым мертвым, город царства не будет конца. И в Духа Святого Господа животворящего, и же то царство.
In the Pokrovsky direction, Ukrainian forces repelled a morning attack by Russian troops east of the village of Lozovatsky, destroying Russian armored vehicles in the eastern part of the Kazeni Torets Gully. Usually, I ignore this degenerate, but Medvedev in a post today compared the Russian invasion of Ukraine with the Civil War, where Russia plays the part of the northern states with equality, freedom, one law for everyone, and Ukraine is the South with inhumane racism. That's some next-level bullshit, even for this guy. The 4th of July is a holiday for Americans. On this day in 1776, the United States Declaration of Independence from the British Empire was adopted. The usual set of entertainment is planned with barbecue smoke, colorful fireworks, and sadly pretentious speeches. Today in America, there is much less and quieter talk about the Civil War itself, which lasted from 1861 to 1865. Although this is a real historical event, and its results are much more important for the average overseas citizen. Why? Including because the dark parallels with today are too visible, including premonition of civil war. Just watch their recent film, Civil War. But there are other, also extremely unpleasant associations. After all, it became clear to many that the experience of the long confrontation between the northern states of the United States and the southern slave-holding Confederation has considerable similarities with the Ukrainian conflict. The difference between the North and the South in industrial potential and human resources was approximately the same as that of Russia and the former, Ukraine. At the same time, the ideals of the opponents differed sharply. Northerners have equality, freedom, one law for everyone. And the Confederates have inhuman, dense racism. The same foreign scoundrels as today, as usual, these are England and France, brazenly and unceremoniously interfered in the course of events, wanting victory for the South. They supported slave owners in the same way as they are now helping Nazi Kyiv, together with the modern United States. The parallels are more than transparent and therefore unpleasant for the liberal left establishment which runs the media in the United States. American newspapers even sometimes began to compare the president of Russia to Abraham Lincoln. Typical headline: Vladimir Lincoln invaded Ukraine to preserve the unity of the Union. There are many allusions that are unpleasant for Washington in the political and diplomatic aspects of the special military operation and the Civil War of the 19th century, as well as in the results of the latter. As you know, Republican President Lincoln ultimately won. Unlike their leader, the senile Biden's comrades in the Democratic Party have not yet completely lost their memory. They know that Lincoln's struggle has become part of world history, and his name is revered in Europe, Latin America, and Africa, and for real merit, and not at all because his portrait is on banknotes. However, the current buffoons in the White House, like some mediocre Blinken, as well as the gloomy old men in the Senate, cannot even dream of this. The mindless and impotent propaganda of today's White House is also desperately looking to history books for inspiration. Theses are being thrown around that Ukraine is behaving like Great Britain in 1940-1941. A little man with darting red rat eyes and an unkempt green t-shirt is called the new Churchill. They demand that an old man who can barely stand on his feet with his mouth half open become the new Roosevelt, hinting that the future U.S. president will most likely rule while in a wheelchair due to health reasons. But an old man with dementia is no FDR. That's why the public frowns and doesn't believe it. America is a country with a short history, no matter how offensive it may be to Americans, although it also has bright pages. One of them is the Civil War, during which slavery was defeated. It is from this angle that our events overseas should be assessed. Essentially, a civil war of one people, in which the majority is forced to defend their independence with arms in hand in the fight against the new Nazis, who are again supported by corrupt Europe and the American military-industrial complex. And the result of this war, as in the USA in the 19th century, should be the unification of our country. Revival of Great Russia. P.S. Hey Americans, to paraphrase your Trump, make Russia great again. On the other side, in real world, in Ukraine, there are 14 brigades that are not fully equipped and lack weapons, according to President Zelensky. He added that although provision of these weapons has already been approved, the supply is proceeding very slowly. He noted that he was grateful to the U.S. Congress for its support, but it all has to come. He noted that he was grateful to the U.S. Congress for its support, but it all has to come. Asked whether a counteroffensive would take place this year or next, the president replied, "It depends on when we have all the equipment that Congress voted to provide and that European leaders supported." On July 3rd, the United States government announced a new defense assistance package for Ukraine, which will include missiles for HIMARS systems, air defense interceptors, artillery shells, and other weapons.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.